and welcome to season 2 of the Heatcast with myself, Seán Ryan. Join with me on the show today is the one, it's the only outsider YP. What is up, my man?
Yes, sir, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and to just catch up, even like, you know what I'm saying? This man does so much for the scene. It's insane.
Ah, jeez, you're too kind. I'm already blushing at the start of the show. I'm normally doing that at the end. You got this cool looking haircut at the moment. Is it an inspiration to Kanye West or anything like that, or what's the story?
Not really. I was blonde for like 3 years, but my hair was long, and then I don't know if like a few months ago, like 2 months ago, I just decided to like shave bald. And I was bald for a while, and then I was like, "Yeah, I don't really love bald, let me start growing it back." And then I was like, I got bored of my hair being black again, and then I was like, "Fuck it, let's dye it." So it's actually not gonna end up being this color, but I suppose you're gonna have to wait until July before you all see the color.
Oh, I'm psyched. I know that you got some heat coming on the way, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. I think one of the questions people are going to ask is, what does outsider YP even mean? What's the meaning behind the name?
So outsider YP is just outsider young phantom. So the outsider part is that, I suppose me and the gang, we don't really feel like we fit in, you know what I'm saying, in any particular box. Like growing up, even like black friends would think, oh, you too quote unquote white, and white friends are like, oh, you don't act as black, you know what I'm saying? So it's like no matter where you go, you don't really fit in. And then musically as well, like stylistically, when I started doing the auto tune and like, and doing like stuff like Just Us and singing more often and stuff like that, people are like, why are you singing, why you not just rapping, even with my first project, Pink Ocean, people are like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't get it. Like, what is this expression? Like, what does this even mean? And, I suppose it's like that lack of understanding and that mystery. And that's where kind of outsider comes from. And, the collective kind of feels, everybody kind of has their own meaning of outsider, but it's a similar enough. And then the YP young phantom is just that I feel like a young ghost, like I'm not really seen, and I'm not really understood, you know what I'm saying? And that's where the phantom, the ghost comes from. And also shout out Danny Phantom,
Oh, dead right, dead right. It's interesting to see where where the name comes from and stuff like that. And obviously, I think what people really love about your music is that it is so outsider, I suppose we might say. But it's great to see that because you are so talented. You're doing different vibe all the time. You're kind of really a versatile vibe, but in the same kind of vibe. If anyone gets what I mean, like you're so creative and stuff like that. And you recently released, I don't know if we can call it an album, but a demo tape even of Rootless and Awkward.
Yeah.
One of the questions I was going to ask on this is, you look through the whole the demo tape, and you see that majority of the tracks are in lowercase besides Itachi. I think that's how.
Yeah.
What's the meaning behind that? Is that a secret message for our listeners or what?
It might be. I just felt like Itachi encapsulated almost everything, and it's like a bold, it's a pay attention to this song because it explains a lot of things. And then I don't know if you noticed the last song, it's like two songs and it's obsessed, but it's spelled obsessed 22. And the typo is like it's almost like to say it's doubly obsessed, but the whole project, like the titling, I aesthetically I like small capitalization and large capitalization. I never liked spelling it with, like, let's say capital J, capital, first letter or first word, capital second word or whatever. I never liked spelling songs like that, but it wasn't until recently that Spotify allowed signed artists to do that. So even for Just Us, I didn't want to title it the way it came out. I wanted it all small letters or all capitals, but it automatically changed it. I think Apple Music still doesn't allow you to some extent to do that. So it's just finally having that freedom. I was like, I'm going to exploit the hell out of this.
I think the way you were saying that, like you wanted to for Itachi and just drag people's attention. I think that was actually the first song. I was like, I looked through and I was like, oh, that pops out. So I think it does really work. I didn't really I've taken notice of is it I'm not from London or something? I might be wrong on the
Yeah,
name.
yeah, I'm not actually from
I'm
London.
not
Yeah,
actually from
yeah.
London. Yeah. And it's like, I was like, after looking at it, because like I was like, this song is class. And I was like, wait, what the hell is this? And what the, you know, I started noticing the rest of it. And I was like, it's all in lowercase. And why
Yeah.
didn't I notice it? But it really is an amazing kind of tactic to kind of get people intrigued with the music. And I think it kind of builds your character as well, because you're so, you know, there's so many layers to you. Like, I mean, I could talk to you all day and we still wouldn't get to the end of you. Yeah, so you've released that so far, and you've also released, I think it's Talking to the Stairs. I think that was another one you had
Yes,
released this year.
yes. Shout out to Megan. Yeah, yeah.
And you also had, and I think this one was the when I heard this come out, I was like, my boy is reaching he's going up the ladder basically. Rebel, what a beat, man! I'm like, that is so cool. And then to be on
Shout out to
sports.
Alec, bro. I just gotta say, Alec, my producer from the States, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I've been working with him for like almost 2 years, and we've only released like 2 songs. We have hundreds of songs.
we're looking forward to more. Like, I mean, it was so cool to be to see you represent Cork, and to, you know, for Sports Direct then to be able to, you know, sponsor them as well. Like, how'd you kind of get that? What was the whole story behind it?
Stevie, man. Stevie is the GOAT, man. Stevie is the GOAT. So they were looking for somebody to produce an original song for the, you know, for the unveiling of the new Cork jerseys. And they hit up Stevie, and Stevie was like, oh, you know, I don't think I can do it, or I don't have time to do it, whatever. And he was like, but I think, you know, YP might be somebody you might be interested in talking to. And then they checked out my music, and they saw he was, you know, was mainly clean. I don't curse too much, and, you know, the image isn't like too bad or whatever. And they were like, oh, he might be a cool guy to hit up. And then they hit me up, and we actually made 2 versions of the song. They actually chose a different version initially, but this version just actually just hit with the advert, the video of the advert itself better. I kind of, you know, it's odd enough process making songs for adverts, because you're not given that much information, you know. And I think we also didn't have that much time to do it, so it was like, you know, shout out to Sarah Bed as well for, you know, coming through with the background vocals. It was just like, okay, we got to get this done as soon as possible. But you know, it ended up, you know, good. But I think with more time, we probably could have made a even much better song. But you know, that's kind of part of the business. You got to be able to work under pressure and rapid.
I think, you know, you definitely proved it with that. But I think one of the questions, I think, if when people know you and stuff like that, and you know, you're in Tralee right now, and that's where home is. I think the question I'm going to ask, and you probably know already what I'm going to ask, is who do you prefer? Like, which do you prefer, Cork or Kerry?
Kerry, man, true and true, man. Kingdom all the way. If the bag was given to me from Kerry and the bag was given to me from Cork, I would have chose Kerry. But shout out Cork. I'm definitely an adopted child. I don't really feed into the rivalry. I think we are, you know, brother and sister, you know, in the South, and the 2 greatest counties on in Ireland, you know.
Well, you're not wrong there. I thought you were going to offend me there for a sec, but you came back like. And you've had like such an amazing year in 2020. You know, for a year that a lot of people, you know, found it very hard to even get out of bed and kind of, you know, do their daily routine. You know, you had a PewDie Boy, you had Dreamy Eyes, which I'm constantly on repeat, even to this day. Eat My Heart. Oh my God, tell me more. Rockstar with Olympio. You had Party No More with Space. You got Shigo. Like, you had an amazing 2020. Like, what was what was going on in that head of yours to keep yourself going and keep making music? Or was it like, it's already there, I just need to post it? What was it?
Yeah, like the Spaceman one, you know, we probably have 2 tapes worth of music, to be honest. I think he probably has way more of our songs released on his SoundCloud, you know, which is something I always like. No matter who I collaborate I always give them the freedom to release whatever I do with them, even if I'm not 100% happy with it myself. Like, I'm like, even if they want to drop it on Spotify or whatever, I'm always 100% okay with them to release it. So, you know, he definitely has more songs on the SoundCloud, but I'm a bit of an over perfectionist sometimes, I think. And I keep tweaking stuff, you know. And last year A lot of those songs as well was like, you know what, I re-listened to them, say I really like this song, why isn't it out? And then I just dropped it, you know. And then others, like Dreamy Eyes, you know, shout out to my man Cody, aka Hex Code. Now he goes under Hex Code now. He was Scully at the time, but you know, phenomenal producer, also from the States, met on Twitch. And me and him worked on a bunch of songs. And you know, most of them aren't out, and most of them probably never come out, but Dreamy Eyes was one of them that he produced, and we finished, you know. So we had to get that out as well. And it's just like, I don't know, I had way more music to release, to be honest, but I create music every day. Like usually I record one song a day, you know. Or you know, I always try to do, in a week I might have 10 songs done, you know, maybe more, every single week, because I don't know, I feel like if I don't create that day, I feel like I didn't do enough that day, you know what I mean? So it's kind of almost like a healing and a daily ritual at the same time, to make music every day. And then out of that, you know, occasionally you find diamonds, and sometimes you don't, you know.
I could definitely relate, even here with the website and the Instagram page and everything that I do for this page. Like I do totally relate in the terms of, like, if I didn't do anything for the day, or I did, you know, I put up 3 stories on the Instagram stories, I feel like I didn't do anything. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm letting down all these people that are following the page. So I can totally understand that. But like, you come out with hit after hit, it doesn't matter what you drop, I'm like, I'm hooked to it, like, which is just like a great vibe. Like, I think one of the questions I'd love to ask you is, like, there's a lot of young people trying to, you know, get themselves into the scene maybe, and they look up to outside of YP. What would be the first advice you tell them to say, look, this would be vital to your success?
Create, man. Be fearless. Be absolutely fearless in what you create, you know. People are going to tell you, oh, you should do things this way, that way. And I think, you know, to some degree, there's always information that's valuable to take in, but always trust yourself. I think above everything else, always have faith that, you know, what you decisions you're making in terms of what you know, the type of music you're making is the right one. But also, you know, don't be afraid to be honest to yourself. Like sometimes me and Keston would argue over if a song is good or not, or if I should release the song or not, or if he should release the song or not. You know what I mean? Even for his tape, like I was like, those 2 songs, I was like, nah, I don't think they should make the tape. You know, and when I was gonna drop, you know, Alex Wilder, we had a whole 2-hour debate of like, yo, this song is elite, but the rest of some of these songs are not. And like, we have these discussions, and it's important to have people that are 100% honest with you, even if it's, you know, you might be annoyed with the person for a week or a few days. I think it's imperative to have somebody that's just going to tell you straight up, like, nah, you know, this isn't good, and you know why. Or and if you know, if you still believe it's good, release it anyway. That's also what's important, you know. Those songs that, like, you know, sometimes he didn't like, or I didn't like from him, that he released and that I released. But it's also important to come through that conversation, to have that conversation, because sometimes you can explain to somebody like, yo, I made this for this reason, or you know, coming from this and that, and it could be like, oh, okay, I think I get it now, I think I get your vision now. I think God knows is somebody that always asks me that question. Like whenever like I send him a song, he's like, what was like your whole process behind the song? He's always trying to understand what I'm thinking, and sometimes I don't understand what I'm thinking, so it's very hard to explain.
Yeah, you're really you know, you got an imaginative mind on yours, like, and you can come up with amazing concepts and stuff like that. You've already released, as I was saying, you know, It Taken to Stars, you got that demo tape, and Rebel that has come out, but you said something that was coming out in June. Could you elaborate maybe a small bit on that?
When the world ends, man, when the world ends is, you know, me and Boys Tell Lies, we made music. We met on SoundCloud, bro. It's crazy. That's Olympio's brother. We met on SoundCloud. Like I met him just like I met Olympio before, but I didn't know Olympio that well until like after I met Boys Tell Lies. And it's crazy because when I found his music on SoundCloud, I was like, wait, he's in Ireland? He's in Cork? I was like, this guy is amazing. And genuinely speaking, bro, like this is like from the bottom. I think he is potentially the best artist, not in Ireland, on earth. I think he's that good. Like, not like, this is not hyperbolic. This is not what I genuinely think. Like, if you're talking about the most talented artist, he's way more talented than me. and I'm an arrogant, like I'm self-confident. I think I'm really good. I think I'm like, really good at what I do. But this guy is just a level beyond that. His creativity is crazy. It's crazy, and I asked him to send me a few songs for my tape for Hope You're Not Alone. And I was just like, oh, just send me like 1 or 2 songs. And he sent me like 5 songs. He's like, yeah, use whichever one you like. And they were all just mind blowing, bro. I was like, how are you sending me just this much heat, bro? How are you just in like a week, 2 weeks, you sent me like 5 insane songs, and same as Farai, bro, like insane, just insane level of talent. And so, we talked about it back then. I was like, man, maybe I should just put all of those songs into Hope You're Not Alone. But then I didn't want it to like him to get lost in it, where it's like, oh, that's outside of YP's tape,
Yeah.
and those 4 insanely amazing songs from Boys Tell Lies, but it's an outside of YP's tape. And because of that, I was like, let's just make it a collaborative thing. And so I worked on like, certain types of songs to almost match his vibe and, add my own twist to it, of course. And then I was like, because he actually suggested, oh, if we're going to put it in one tape, we could call it Hope You're Not Alone When the World Ends, and I was just like, I really like that name. And so, because Hope You're Not Alone is not going to be a separate thing, it's still going to have a song by him. But then I was like, we got to do When the World Ends. And that's where this is coming from. And so I mixed, well, he mixed his own songs and mastered them all. And he was like, yeah, if you want to remaster them or retouch them, he sent me everything. But I loved everything he did with it. You know what I'm saying? And he records on his phone half the time. And it sounds like he records in a studio. It doesn't make no sense, man. This guy, he's ad covers, trust me, bro. But I just gush about him. Whenever I get an opportunity to talk about him, I have to just gush. But yeah, so and we've had the songs done for some time, and I was like, what am I waiting for? You know what I'm saying? Even when I did drop, Rootless and Awkward, I'm like, what am I waiting for? So I'm like, okay, this month I'm gonna drop this, and I want to drop a tape every month, whether it's a 3-song tape, a 4-song tape, a 10-song tape, a 12-song tape, a 20-song tape. Every month this year, I'm gonna drop music because I'm like, I've been holding out so much music. Like I haven't dropped a tape since, minus the one with Keston, Fallen. I haven't dropped the tape since 2018. That's 3 years ago. Subway Ultra was the last thing I dropped. So, and I delete music all the time, which, sometimes I get crucified by, so that's, so I'm like, let me just drop the music I like right now. And even if I don't like it next year, I liked it at some point. So I should just keep it for that reason alone. So, that's where the release schedule this year is going to be my biggest release schedule, to date.
Being an avid fan of yours, I'm absolutely delighted to hear that. But I know your heads or tails about tracks and stuff like that. It's quite weird to hear that you're so definitive of keeping those tracks up, because I know a few of my mates would be like, outside of YP is deleted his Instagram again, but it's back now, and it's like, where did he go? He's a total young phantom, as your name suggests.
Yeah.
But it's totally you. Do you know what I mean? I totally dig your vibe and stuff like that.
Another advice, sorry, real quick. Another advice: do not delete your Instagram. Anybody that wants to be a musician, restarting gaining followers is a trek. Don't do it. I've done it like 5 times. Not a good idea. But yes, please continue.
No matter. As an artist, you're able to capture a load of audiences, and you're able to get to people's hearts and stuff like that. But like, how do you kind of promote yourself as an artist?
I used to be really like into that. I used to be really like, when I did Starboy and stuff, it was like, okay, we need the press kit, we need this, we need that. And, I think, getting my highest played song is on that. So obviously it worked, but I think I got so caught up in that I started needing everybody's opinion before any release instead of just a select few. And that's where me not dropping a tape came from. I made loads of tapes, send it to, my ex-management, and they're like, oh, it's good, but there's not like a hit. I'm like, damn, what do I do? Or send it to whoever, and they're like, oh yeah, I like it, but it needs like a hit, it needs a single, it needs this, it needs that. And I was like, God damn, bro. When I made Just Us, it was just like, I was just vibing. It was actually kind of an accident. the song was supposed to be a rap song, and then I rapped it. It sounded doo-doo. And I was like, damn, this is garbage. And then I just slapped on autotune, and one little section sounded kind of good. I was like, damn. And then I just redid the whole song. So that's kind of how I create. So I felt like I had to like, meet these agendas and meet these things before I could release music. And it just made it very hard for me to not enjoy making music, but enjoy the release process of music. And so with this year and me coming back fully, I wanted to not care about the blogs, not care about the plays, not care about nothing else except releasing music that I think is really good, or music that I really enjoy, and just dropping that freely and not caring about any promotions or whatever. And just being like, yo, I just want to do good as music. I just want to make good music and vibe and create a vibe. And if people listen, amazing. If not, whatever. I still have years to go. I can still make a hot single. I can still, figure that out. I can still promote stuff later down the line. But right now, I just wasn't in this space to be like, yo, let me write to this blog and say, hey, please promote my music or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't want to think about any of that. I just, and that's the thing with a lot of artists. Most of us don't want to think about that. That's where I think, management is important. If you have a manager or you have, a publisher, somebody to deal with that, because that can take away from the beauty of creating art in a lot of ways. So, myself and Keston were thinking of getting an agency for the outsiders to deal with that, because none of us really want to do that. Keston has the drive to do that. I don't, not anymore.
Yeah, it is quite a long process, I suppose, for a lot of like for artists to kind of get into that mindset of like writing up an EPK, getting all these photos done, all those sorts of things, and then just trying to find outlets and stuff like that to send it to. But yeah, I would totally agree. It's probably a nightmare for an artist to do all that work, especially when you're trying to communicate with producers, mixing, mastering, trying to communicate with other artists, then trying to do the marketing aspect, maybe making sure your Instagram looks good as well. And all those other things. And it can just really distract you from whatever message you want to portray in your music or whatever stories you want to tell. So I could totally understand that. And I think it's good for artists to have an understanding of how that works. I think that's an important thing, like how an EPK, what is it and how does that work, or like how can you make your Instagram look flashier to make people make sure they follow and all that jazz. So I think those elements are good, but you don't need to know the whole lot. And I think you should, once you get to a certain stage in your career where you feel like, okay, this is my time, I'm going to full out go artist mode on this, that you get someone involved to kind of do that press, talking to blogs and radio presenters and maybe even TV shows if you can as well. And I would totally agree. That would be the option to go. And I think that's a great step for you, especially with the amount of talent you have and stuff like that. And especially with all the stuff you're going to be dropping this year, which I'm so excited for. I can't express it enough on this show. Obviously that kind of relates to my next question, but what is your aim as an artist to get done in 2021? Is it just to drop loads of music, or is it maybe oh, maybe a blog might see the music but without me trying, or what is it?
My goal is to just create an emotional experience. I think my music, for me, I always want it to be an experience for the listener. I always try to, even my track ordering, my track titles, I like my music to be an experience. I like for people to be wonder oh, what does that mean, or why did he do this, or why did he say that, why did he do this for the song, why did the song just end, or why is this song like this. I love that, because I think there's a lot of mystery gone in music. Because every artist is in your face every day promoting, and it's like a rat race. You're in a wheel and you're just running and hoping for the best. And I wanted to bring back the purity of art this year. That's it. That's really my only goal, is the purity of art. Art in its purest form. And if opportunity comes for that, amazing. If not, whatever. I think there'll be a time when, maybe one of the releases next year where I'll be like, okay, this release right here is a package for a record label. This release right here is a package for trying to get radio. This release right here is for that. But right now, my focus is just creating art. And hopefully, if something does happen with this, it maybe will push more people to just be free about creating art, because I think the social media age kind of makes it hard to be free with art. You kind of have to do certain things. You kind of have to be a certain way. Otherwise, it's hard to get noticed. And it's like, what about just being yourself? Um, which for me can be, a bit weird or whatever, but it is what it is. Like, accept me, reject me, whatever. And I think that's kind of the attitude I have this year. That's where kind of, awkward and rootless. I'm rootless, I'm awkward, and I don't really care.
It's great to see that, like, that you're not driven on the attention, you're not driven on the fame. I think a lot of artists, like, when they see big artists like maybe yourself or Denise Chaila or God knows who've gained loads of followers because they're doing what they're doing, see it as like, okay, I need fame before I get, like, over talent is like a priority. It's like fame is better than having this talent. And it's such a weird dynamic, because it's such a kind of like, it's fame is a secondary to talent. Like, you got to be like, either you're going to be having a great work ethic, jeez, I'm all over the place with my words today, or you're talented at what you do, and those two things are vital to success, really. But like, when you put fame on top of it, you can go, like, I don't know what it does, but it changes the whole, like, kind of trickles down, I suppose, to people starting off and stuff like that, and seeing like, well, it's only fame I need to be, actually good and be popular. And I think I can really relate to your message in that sense, where it's like, if you do it right from the start and you do it correctly all the ways up, and you don't think about that fame, because it's a secondary. It's like this page as well. Like, I don't, it's not a big deal for me to have 1,000 followers. Like, that's just, that's not the idea. The message for me is to make the scene grow better and bring it all together.
The bigger your platform is, the more opportunities you can give artists.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, I think that's also important. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's also important for artists to champion people like you. You know what I'm saying? Because you doing work that a lot of people don't do. Like, a lot of artists don't really, because of the image, may not share other people's songs unless that person is of a certain ilk, right? Or they know that person personally. And it's not, oh, I'm cocky. It's just, oh, I don't know if this is like the style of music I want to share on my platform because of my image, right? And that's one thing I don't really care about at all. Like, I'm who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like what I like. I'll share what I like, and if I don't like it, I won't share it. That's really it. And I kind of wanted to step away from that type of like thinking of like, ooh, I don't know if I can share this because blah 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 blah. And even like with features, like I've done features with a guy in Russia. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's rapping in a different language. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a feature with a guy in France. He's singing in French. You know what I'm saying? And most of you probably haven't even heard these songs, don't even know that I released them. I shared it, but it's like, what? I'm always down to work with anybody or anything as long as it's half decent. I'm never a type of person to be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody's trying to charge me to work with them. Then I'm like, you asking me to work with you, but you want me to pay you. That just don't make no sense to me. Yeah. But, it's, there's a few people that, like, it took me months to get back to do the verse or whatever. And, it was like maybe 6 months. And I went through my old Instagram messages because I deleted that Instagram, and somehow by accident, I slapped in the wrong password and recovered it. And then I saw the message. I was like, shoot, I never sent these verses. So I hit them back up. And I was like, yo, so sorry. And I eventually got them those verses. So if anybody else that I owe a verse to, please, feel free to DM me. I probably just forgot. So just remind me and I'll sort it out for you.
It's yeah, man, like it's I know that you delete your Instagram all the time, so, and as you said, you're probably not going to delete it anymore, but no fingers crossed anyway.
No, I promised everybody in the Outsiders that I wouldn't do it, so
all right, I'm not 100% sure of that, but sure, look, like the scene is the Irish scene is growing. I feel like it's getting bigger. I think it's getting to a stage where it's kind of finding its feet, but what do you think is missing from the scene to kind of get it up that next step on the ladder?
Freedom. I think freedom of expression, freedom of, I think that, and also just, I think the Irish people, that our listeners, the consumers, I think need to. I think there's so much value placed on numbers and so much value placed on certain things that isn't important. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's good, pull up to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's free to buy, 5-6 points in a night, but nobody's free to pay €5 to watch, a person that they know to perform. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird thing to me. I mean, I get that some people are busy. That's fair. That happens. But or even like buy your friend's album, buy your friend's merch, like those type of things. If you can, if you have the time, like that's one thing I try to, do this year, because a lot of times I just be forgetting stuff or whatever. But I'm like, okay, even if I'm gonna forget it, let me at least, get the CD. Like I don't even have I don't have nowhere to place a CD, right? My laptop can't put in a CD, but I have a bunch of CDs here. I even have vinyls. I have no vinyl player, but I have vinyls from like Jet Setters that I can never play.
I'm not even laughing, but inside I'm laughing because I'm in the exact same boat. I have a load of CDs. I've got like XXX Tenacion, and I've Run DMC, and I've got the old Craic Boi Mental albums, and I just recently got the Attention album, the Common Rough, as well on CD. But this laptop is brand new. There's no CD driver or anything like that, so I can totally relate. In that sense, it's like, why are you getting it? What's the purpose? It's like, I just want to support these people because they're so good.
Yes.
And I think, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people, when they think of CDs, like maybe the younger generation have a different point of view, but my point of view is like, there was like, for me growing up, it was like, oh my God, you have a CD of this artist. Like it was a big deal.
Huge
and
deal.
Then like, even my brother, now he's 3 years younger than me, and like this attitude is like, it's cool to get it, but it's like, is it like you can listen to it on Spotify. You can just, put on a playlist, and that's enough support you can give, and it's all free. And it's like, for me, it's like I need to have a copy of it. I don't care if I can't play it. I just want to have a copy of it and then be boasting to everyone like, exactly.
Right here. This shout out to my friend for giving me this, because he got like a deluxe one. So he was like, he knows I'm a huge fan, so he gave me this one. But like, I can if I want to listen to this, I will go on Spotify or I'll go on YouTube and listen to it. But having this in my room, bro, it's special, bro. It's a different type of feeling, and I think people need to, like, maybe not need to, but should probably think about that. Like sometimes it's just even the aesthetic of the room is better. Wait, there's another album here that I highly love and recommend. This right here is a masterpiece, and there's a bunch of great stuff out here that, like, even in a car, CDs are the best for cars. This right here gets played every time in a car. So, there's always a place on a way to enjoy it differently. And I think there's, even sonically, CDs sound slightly different than digital. In fact, even when mastering, usually there's kind of two ways you can master it: to more suit CDs or to more suit, so like Spotify and stuff like that. But I definitely agree. I think there's also sentimental value, because the Spotify thing, you might forget it, but if you see this in your room, you remember. You know what I'm saying? It may last forever. You know what I'm saying? So there's beauty in that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would show you the other. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'll show you the other albums.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I'll show you my collection, because when I moved down, because I'm in Killarney at the moment, for anyone who's listening and watching, I decided, do you know what? Because I wasn't too sure what way I was going to lay this out. I was thinking like maybe doing the back wall of CDs, but I only have till October, so I might be in a different location altogether. So I was like, okay, maybe not, because that'd be too much of a trick. But there's Craic Boi Mental's.
Yes, sir.
What is it? Summer Bops. Absolute classic. Here's this other one then, Cork City Anthems. And that's the Common Rough by Attention. Shout out to him and DJ Green. In terms of just universal artists and stuff like that, XX, there we go. Boom.
Question mark, bro.
Biggie Smalls, Greatest Hits. I don't have the actual one, but like it'll do. A big Basement Jaxx fan as well.
Ooh.
If anyone's a Basement Jaxx fan. Run DMC.
Oh, goat.
Public Enemy.
Oh,
NWA, yes. Baby.
Of course.
Busta Rhymes is in the house. Kendrick's in the house.
Damn.
NAS is in the house.
One of the greatest albums of all time.
Another NWA one that I can't pronounce. And Death Grips.
Yes.
So yeah,
Death Grips are fire actually, bro.
That's my collection at the moment, and I'm hoping to buy more CDs for local artists. So if anyone's watching and stuff like that, hit me up. I'll probably buy it. So yeah, that's kind of my plan now, is just to get more CDs, and if I find like a place in the future and stuff like that, or even a studio, just like slap them onto the wall and just make a whole collage. But that's the plan. Like, but it's like I just such a like joy, like from buying one or like going into like golden discs, well, when they were open, of course. There was like such a joy to just like pick it out and be like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't get to play it, it's just cool that I have it.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's such a joy. Like, the endorphins go, you know. I think I'm gonna wrap it up with the last question here. And you know, I've seen you perform, and to me, from my perspective, I think like you kill it when you hit the stage. But do you find it hard performing in front of the stage? Do you like get butterflies? What happens?
I don't like performing. Unless I'm with Ferrari. I love performing with Ferrari, but I don't really like performing. Mainly because I can't perform the way I want to perform. Like, the equipment that I want to have, the stuff that I want to be able to utilize, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want live auto tune and stuff like that. But at the moment, I can't have that. You know, so it takes me away from like being as excited as I can be. With Ferrari, it's easier because most of our songs together are like rap, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy, but most of my own songs aren't really rap. It's like, you know, Just Us and like, you know, Saddest Day, or like Disco. You know, that's the songs that I feel the most. But it's like, I can't perform half of those. You know, I can't sing like those. I ain't gifted with those vocals. So I've been learning how to sing to try to like get better at it. But it's just, I don't know. And a lot of the sound engineers, it's not that they're not good. It's just they don't really know how to engineer me that great. You know, and you know, sometimes it's like you asking for this tweak, that tweak, and they get frustrated. And you know, it's a hard job. Like, you know, you don't want to be like that guy that's like so ultra demanding, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of put off shows for a minute. I don't really necessarily want to perform for a while. I kind of just want to make music in my room because I can do whatever I want and manipulate my vocals exactly how I want. I can, you know, pressure wise, I don't really feel nervous going on stage anymore. You know, I definitely did for a while, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, let's just go for it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think performing with Farai is the best way to perform for me. I think if I could perform with Farai every time I ever perform, I wouldn't mind performing every day for the rest of my life, you know?
yeah. Shout outs to Farai anyway for that
Shout out
one.
to Farai.
But yeah, it's great to see like that attitude towards it as well. I suppose like hopefully, and I'm not too sure if it's probably in the States, but like there is technology where you can like nearly save presets and put them on.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
You can probably get it here too, but them things are pricey, bro.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I suppose, you know, it's yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here on the Heatcast for everyone watching. Actually, hold on, Sean. Whoa. We gotta first ask Mr. YP a special question. Is there anything you'd like to plug before we end the show, Mr. YP?
Check out Luna, check out Keston, bro. Reflection, phenomenal. Please check out Boys Tell Lies or Bobby Sweats, you know what I'm saying? Or Bobby Sweets. Like, please check those out. Farai Dambisa, bro. This man is the penultimate talent right here. Please check that dude out. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for videography, Blonde O'Toole is the plug, bro. That's the homie right there. She's phenomenal. You know, just there's a lot of great artists out there and a lot of great creatives. Collaborate and check those guys out. And please, finally, the future goal is coming true. An Empty Heart or My Twisted Heart, bro. Trust me, the music he's about to drop this year, bro, y'all ain't even ready, bro. He's just been teasing. He's literally been teasing for like 3 years. The music is dropping soon. His first EP is dropping next month. So just be ready, because that dude is different gravy. It's different gravy. Working with him, I work with him almost every day, and working with him is just phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? He's work ethic and everything. And we probably have hundreds of songs that'll never see the light of day by him, but it's that willingness to like keep making music until we get those songs correct. And yeah, man. So all of those guys are the people I want to plug. Those are like, what I'm saying, phenomenal people.
I'm absolutely hyped for all the names that you've given me right there, because I know if what outside of YP is telling me like they're unreal, they must be unreal. He's always spitting facts for everyone watching and everyone listening. But we're going to wrap it up this time, and this is for real this time. We're going to wrap it up here on the Heatcast. For everyone watching on YouTube and everyone listening on Spotify, make sure to follow us on Instagram. If you'd also want to support the show, make sure to donate to our Patreon. The link is down below, so click it, and we'll see you in the next one.